Welcome back for another multi-part LEGO set build. Today we're going to be doing the LEGO Pac-Man set. This is a relatively new set, came out in the last couple months. The instruction manual cover is pretty simple, just shows Pac-Man with the ghosts following him. And on the back it shows what happens when Pac-Man eats the power pellet and then the ghosts turn blue. There are 14 bags of parts total. Today we'll be doing the first 2 bags of parts. This Pac-Man set is to simulate a small tabletop Pac-Man game, which we see over here. And bags number 1 and 2 are going to be just the little representation of the Pac-Man and the ghosts, a couple of the ghosts. So let's just get right to doing bag number 1 and 2, Pac-Man and some ghosts. First thing I want to show is some printed bricks. Try to hold it up there a little bit. So from the box image and the instruction manual, there's quite a extensive sticker sheet. But not everything is a sticker. We've got some printed elements here. We've got just a regular flat tile with some decoration on it, which will become obvious later on what exactly that's supposed to represent. And then we've got the 4 ghosts and Pac-Man as a printed element. And there's quite a few of these, probably for extras or as we get to build the set, multiples of these are used later on. So again, printed bricks are always a welcome addition to any set, especially something custom like this. So this isn't a printed brick they'd have on any other set. This is custom made for this set. So quite excellent to have printed bricks. There's also quite a few gears in this first bag. What you see on the table here is bag number 1. And now I'm curious, because I didn't really look through the instruction manual to see what's involved in the building of this set. I can just see what the final image looks like, and it looks like just Pac-Man sitting on a platform. But the presence of these gears means it's a little more complicated than just a simple platform. There's got to be some sort of mechanism in there, so we'll discover that as we get building here. All right, well, this is a little, so we got this elastic band around here, and I need to put this through the hole. So I've got to hold that down. And then this goes over top, and the pin gets pushed into it. Why won't that go in? Oh, that's as far as it goes. Oh, and then the elastic, this is a little bit complicated. The elastic goes onto this other little ball joint here. Okay, so a little bit of functionality here already. If you push this in, that'll move, and then the elastic band snaps it down. And this whole thing now goes right here. So there's going to be some kind of functionality there because of that. this sits on top of here, and I believe gets attached to there, but hang on. If I do that, doesn't that just restrain this from moving? Maybe it's just to hold it in place while I get the other gears put in. That's probably what it is. It's probably just a big placeholder. Okay, I just noticed that I put these gears and this assembly backwards from what it shows in the instructions, which would make sense why this doesn't look like it should be right up against there. So let's take some stuff apart. That's where I went wrong. I gotta flip it like this. And then okay, this makes much more sense now, because we got the small gear that goes in that'll tie into this gear tooth down here. And then this gear goes on top. Now this is making much more sense. Now, okay, you can't see it anymore, but there's the small gears connected to this push lever, which will eventually turn this whole system. Now this goes in. Take that off. This goes in here, and then this goes in here, and then this goes on top. This makes much more sense now. All right, so now all the gears are lined up, but they can't currently move because of this assembly up here. Again, this could just be to hold things together while putting in all the gears to make sure they line up without moving. Now this whole thing gets covered up. It's a good thing I fixed the gears. And I guessed correctly, this whole thing up here was just temporary to hold all of this in place. So I can take this off now. So this whole thing gets removed. These all become now spare parts. Use my brick separator. Take that apart. So in addition to these, I've got some printed tiles left over, a couple Technic elements. That's all extra. So this was bag number 1, the base for the display of Pac-Man and a couple ghosts. And now that we took off that restraining bar, if I push this here, it's kind of hard to see. You can see that this piece turns and the two disc parts. It's hard to see them spin, but get the light reflected there. that'll become evident in bag number 2 as to we got a Pac-Man and 2 ghosts on here. So not too bad. I thought it was just going to be a base, but I didn't realize there was going to be some mechanism in there. And it was complicated enough that it made me make a mistake. Again, that's not saying much. I make mistakes on the simplest things, but so pretty simple. Just a big box for a display for the Pac-Man and some ghosts. All right, time for bag number 2. I've got the base out here just to show what we did in bag number 1. But for the most of this build, will be off to the side while I do the ghosts, and then we'll put the ghosts on top here at the end. So let's get started. In contrast to bag number 1, which was pretty much all black bricks, this has got a nice variety of color in it, so it's going to be a lot easier to see on camera. Let's get started. We got 1 Pac-Man, which of course would be all the yellow, and 2 ghosts to build. A couple nice printed bricks for eyes. Let me make sure I get the eyes going the right way. There you go. There's the 1 ghost, orange. I can't remember the ghost's names. Maybe in editing I'll stick it below. Regular ghost, pellet gets eaten, turns into the scared ghost, which, if you're thinking ahead back to the assembly in bag 1, you can kind of see what is going to happen here. Time for ghost number 2. Okay, the second ghost was the same construction as the first ghost, so I just most likely fast forwarded through it. Got our 2 ghosts, time to do our Pac-Man. All right, we've got our 2 ghosts and our Pac-Man. Now we just have to attach them to the base that we built in bag number 1. Here's that base again. Now the ghosts are easy. They go just sitting on top of these round elements. I guess I got to put the Pac-Man on. Actually, no, I can slip them on here. So Pac-Man was built with this Technic pin on the inside, which is going to mate to this other Technic pin here. If I can get the pin lined up. There we go. So in this state, the ghosts are chasing the Pac-Man. And if you remember part 1, there's this little push lever here. If I push it and do it this way, the ghosts, so pretend there's a pellet here. It'd actually be kind of cool if they had a little pellet hanging right here. Push the lever on the back, and now they're all scared ghosts and Pac-Man's chasing them. Pretty simple, but it's nice that they put a little bit of functionality to something that was just a display. Now this doesn't really attach to the main Pac-Man arcade set. It's just kind of off to the side. I mean, you can probably stick it on top. Actually, maybe it does attach on top. I'm not sure yet, but it's still this on itself is a nice little display feature. There you go. It's bag number 2. So part bag number 1 and 2 go into this assembly here. Next week we'll start the main arcade game with bag number 3. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And feel free to let me know what you think of this set in the comments. I will see you next week.